All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, and this is your Week 11 Giants film review. Going to go through, I think we're close to 50-50 on offensive defensive plays, and it's a victory film review, right? Which, again, you may be a tank person. I'm kind of am too, but I will be honest. Reviewing winning film is so much better than reviewing losing film. But we're going to talk about some negatives in it, too, and how the Giants adjusted off of it. I thought this was a spectacularly coached game on both sides of the ball. And honestly, I don't think I can cover it all in this film review. So like and subscribe to the channel, all that junk, and let's get into it. Your Week 11 Giants victory film review. So we are going to start with some negatives because it's going to point to some positive stuff later in the game, and it shows why the Giants were able to get big plays and how they were able to adjust their run game, right? So this is a negative run, and we're going to go through a few negative runs at the start of this film review. The Commanders were crashing on this, right? And they were pitting their front in different gaps from pre-snap while telling their linebackers to get downhill, right? So we'll start with this, right? Pugh. Giants are running this split zone with Bellinger coming to the backside. So Pugh is working to get across his face, but the defensive lineman jumps into this A gap, and JMS isn't able to get there. There's chaos, right? There's chaos. But maybe you can, break this tackle, which he's not able to. But you see how quick the linebackers they're getting downhill. I mean, they were trying to stop the run. That was their main goal, was to stop the run. And you see it there. Saquon has no chance, right? Because Pugh doesn't get enough of a piece of this. JMS is screwed. And you've got nowhere to go. Now on defense, interception for Nick McLeod. Who would have thought Nick McLeod would be getting interceptions on the Commanders at the start of the season? This was, again, and Wink played a lot of zone in this, right? And this is a cover 4 zone where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, four guys covering the deep area of the field, a 4 deep zone. And Howell reads that, right? And what he's reading is, okay, I've got the post right here, so I want to get to this open middle, this part of the field, and this corner is going to be playing with some outside leverage because he has this safety help. So I want this route to bait this safety into this play and get this corner and get this post right here, right? And that's exactly what Sam Howell's reading, right? When he sees this safety come down on this pinnock, that's what he's throwing. And it honestly is a good decision, right? Dyami Brown has inside leverage, but it's just a bad throw and really good ball tracking from Nick McLeod. That is really good ball tracking. Like, if you want this, if you're Dyami Brown, you want this ball right here. Instead, it's right here. And that's just, again, a good job by Nick McLeod. And again, on that quarters coverage, right? Like you see, McKinney picks this up. You've got 3 for 1 right here. Interception, turnover for the Giants. Back on offense. Now we're going to do a negative 3-yard run on this GH counter. Negative 3-yard run. Again, it just shows the Commanders getting downhill. Right? So we're going to start right here. These two are comboing to this linebacker. Right? And Thomas does a great job hammering him into that other gap. But he's got no linebacker to go because this backside linebacker is just reading this pull, and he's attacking this from the backside, right? He's attacking this from the backside. And then you have your edge player out here. He's levering, so he's just want to squeeze this down. And then your front side linebacker, he's feeling fast downhill. And there is nowhere to go for Saquon, right? Like, he's going to try and bounce this. David Mayo ends up making the play. But you bounce this, you got 2 players right here. So, I mean, the Commanders were getting downhill quick. And you're going to see that. And you see the safety fill. Like, everyone is getting down on this run. And you're going to see it help with some play action and help with some of the outside pin and pull runs that they do. Now, you have 3rd and 13. This was probably like my favorite play from just like the entire 11 on the offense all game. 3rd and 13, you get a conversion that sets up the Saquon Barkley touchdown. And the Giants run a dagger concept, right? Right. So you have this player, Wandale. He is running a go. He is simply just a clear out, right? Unless this safety like bails, you're essentially 9 times out of 10 you're not even looking at this, right? And you get this versus a cover 2 zone, right? You see these corners playing the flats right here. Or not even playing the flats, but kind of playing the sticks. So Wandale is clearing this out. And Bellinger, usually you put this out here to try and occupy this defender. But with it being 3rd and 13, you're really not going to pull this defender on there. He's just going to sit and wait because completing that pass isn't a big deal. But when you keep it here, it keeps this player honest, right? Because if he just comes out here into the flats, well, this player can just turn and look for Slayton and make this play. And you're going to see from the other angle, DeVito does a good job, right? You see this? Bam. You see that little hitch right there? Bam. It gets him moving up, right? And just great anticipation from DeVito. I mean, look where the ball's coming from DeVito's hands. Slayton hasn't even got it. Like, he's just getting into his break. And you put that right in the hole. That's my, and we're going to see it from the other angle too. That's my favorite play from all 11, right? From coaching, from quarterback, from offensive line, from Slayton. Just good stuff, man. On a 3rd and 13. Again, my favorite play of the game personally. Right? And you see this little hitch. Bam. Keep that curl hook defender. Bam. Right in the hole. That's good shit, right? And let's look at the protection up front. Look at this stunt pickup from Andrew Thomas and Justin Pugh. I mean, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous, right? And then we slide to this. They want to work a stunt. Ain't shit happening. We're here. We've got all the time in the world, man. If this defender had went and searched for this, well, this window might open anyways, right? So just great job from all 11 on that play, and I really want to give a shout out to everybody on that play. Next play is the Saquon Barkley touchdown. Good throw, good catch. So the Giants get in this 3-by-1. 1, 2, 3, one down here. But the one is Bellinger, and he's flexed out, but obviously tight to the, detached from the formation, but tight close to it. Now you're going to get cover 1, right? Man coverage, right? You have the robber right here. And then this middle field safety. The Giants essentially run post wheel, which they like to do a lot, but they do it with the tight end in the back. They do it with you have man coverage over here. And the post from Bellinger occupies this safety for enough time. And then you get Saquon out of the backfield on the wheel. Just that little subtle right there, right? The freeze jamming. Bam. And then he's got separation. Good ball by DeVito. Again, this safety's occupied. He's not able to get over the top. Good ball. And just puts it on him. That's beautiful football. Giants score. Back on defense. This is a 3rd and goal. Giants are in cover 2 man, cover 5 versus this mesh. We got a few guys doing a good job. We got the pass rush. So obviously the Giants are in man coverage. They're running mesh. You don't want to get man coverage versus mesh. So we're manned up here, man here, and then you have the mesh point right here. Right? And this is going to break open because Okereke, who is covering the back, ends up turning into a rub on that, right? Without even having to get to this mesh point. But a good job by McKinney, who's playing again. They're playing these 2 halves from the safety spot. A good job from McKinney seeing that and crashing down on it, right? So even if they completed that, it still would be a stop. And then you're going to see from the pass rush unit a great job by Kayvon. Right here on Leno. Dex wins his matchup, right? The watch just shock. Bam, get those hands off. And then Kayvon. We're tightening our arc. We're getting him the we throw that little hezzy, get his punch out there. You work those hands off of him. And again, you got that tight arc. Quarterback hit. Good play. Giants get a stop on 3rd and goal. Back on offense. This is the last negative run we're going to go through. But just watch this defense. Watch this front seven, just how they get downhill on this zone, right? Like, what are we supposed to do? Thomas is obviously blocking his guy. When a linebacker flows like that, like Pugh's got to help with this. So Pugh can't get over to this, right? So Pugh can't get over to this. You can't cut it back because they are flowing so heavy. And then if you bounce it, well, Bellinger's got the inside shoulder of Davis, but there's no room. Just, it's tough. It's tough to run against a defense that is just going all out like that. A little more negative. 3rd and 13. This is a sack that DeVito takes, right? And this is where, again, playing hero ball. You're running this drive concept. Wandale staying in the chip, right? So you got him on this in, this levels concept. I wrote down the wrong thing. Don't bail from this pocket, right? You got time. Throw this to Wandale. You put this out in front of Wandale, like he might be able to go out and get a first down here. Right? You see this safety go to cut off Slayton on this deeper in route, this dig route. Throw this to Wandale. Like where are we scrambling to? I know they're in man coverage, and if you feel like you can get up through the pocket through here, but DeVito's kind of shown no ability to really do that consistently. Just throw it. Instead, you're taking a sack. And I know that this is open, but that's just not where. This is just an alert. We're not. You could throw this, but it has to be a pre-snap decision, essentially. This is the DeVito play that makes me the most mad, though, right? And then we're going to get some. We did some DeVito praise, and there's going to be more. This is the one that makes me the most mad. This 4th down and 2. This mesh concept is so beautiful. You even see Hodgins, like, hand on the head, like, oh my gosh. So, mesh, as we've talked about a bunch of times on this pod, or these film reviews, usually you have the back in the backfield. They get it out of empty, and I think the Giants, because they've run that shock concept, which we talked about so much in empty, they're trying to add more for defenses to prepare for when they get an empty and not just simply the shock concept. So, but you run it the exact same way if Saquon was in the backfield, right? So the first read is the rail route by Saquon right here. And then you have the mesh with the sit route by Bellinger, and then the mesh point right here. And you get it versus man coverage, right? So the first read is always the rail route. It's always the rail route, right? And 4th and 2, we got to get this ball out. Saquon wins inside leverage. You got to throw this. You have to throw this, right? But let's say you don't even throw this, right? You see how they go to double Slayton on this and get off the timing on this? This linebacker, you got to know when this linebacker blitzes, well, the sit route's going to be wide open. It's going to be wide ass open. Like you see they're in man coverage by the way Davis plays this, and it is wide open. And even then, the mesh part of Slayton is open as well too. Again, we're still looking at this. How are we looking at this and not? It'd be one thing if you got off of it at this point, but we're still looking at this. And by the time we're able to read that, we panic and we throw the ball away on a 4th and 2, on what should have been a for sure conversion and possibly even a big play. Back on offense. This is the Darius Slayton touchdown. This is really cool. This is running like a concept that's has some trickeration to it, but running it in a different way than is traditionally ran. Slayton touchdown. How does he get this open? So you see they motion Cager, right? It's called leak, where essentially you're trying to leak out the receiver out into this zone. You're trying to get everybody going here. We're play action. We're trying to get everything over here. But the Giants run in a different way. Most of the time, you'd have so you're R in the 2x2. Usually you would have 2 receivers to this side, right? And you'd have the 2 tight ends over here, right? And you have these tight ends blocking because you want to get underneath the linebackers to leak out, right? Or if you did it, or you would do it by a 3-by-1 set where you'd put this receiver out here, you'd have him run this, you'd have this receiver run across here, and then you'd have the one tight end to stay and block and the second tight end as the leak part of it, right? So you're play actioning, right? And we know that they are flowing heavy on this play actioning heavy, but you almost always run this with a tight end, not as your receiver. They're in man coverage, right? So this route occupies this corner, obviously, and this safety. And then you have this corner outside with playing off and outside. Slayton is really supposed to get underneath the linebackers, but he realizes they sell so hard on the run that there's no point of doing that. And just, again, and what does it do? It leaves this area of the field completely vacated because they're playing the run. They're playing this receiver, and he is playing from behind. And he gets wide ass open. DeVito puts the ball on him. Little stutter step from Slayton, touchdown. And you're going to see Slayton, right? See how flat Slayton's getting? Like, he's planning to get underneath these linebackers, but then it's like, okay, well, there's no getting underneath these linebackers. Let me just get underneath this. Keep it tight on it. DeVito delivers. Da-da-da. Touchdown, Giants. Next play, what do we have? Good play from Kayvon here in the run game, right? Kayvon being good in the run game is, again, going to help this Giants defense going forward in years to come. Be a consistent edge setter, right? So we got a matchup with the tight end. They're running duo. They're trying to create double teams, which means you have the only front side one-on-one. Squeeze that down, right? Get inside, squeeze this down, right? You squeeze this down. Their double doesn't get a lot of movement on Ashawn. Dex fights through it, but you're keeping your linebackers clean, so Robinson bounces it. Able to detach and make yourself a tackle for a loss. Or maybe a tackle for no yards. But again, squeeze this edge down. Play smart, fundamental. Bam. Get off. Nice stop in the goal area. This is the Sam Howell rushing touchdown. Not a ton of analysis on this besides tackle better. Right? And this is what's frustrating about this is 3rd and goal from the 7. This shouldn't be happening. Right? And you cover this very well, right? You got your red zone quarters. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? They got it. Everything's defended. Everything's defended. You try and get this Samuel from the backside. The safety gets it. You got the corner. All right, so Sam Howell's going to scramble. Micah McFadden misses the tackle, and the Deontay Banks effort on this tackle is pathetic, and Charles Leno jumps over a player to start a fight. Right, covered. Everything's covered on the front side. We get to the back side. Nope, they're doubling that now. Now, I would like McFadden to make this tackle. But I don't want to criticize McFadden too much. He's been playing really well. Make this tackle, right? Make this tackle. But at least we're going out, we're diving for this tackle. What I don't like is this shit from Deonte Banks. I mean, what is this? Who taught you that? Who taught you to just kind of throw your shoulder into a player? And Hawkins does the same thing, right? It's a big reason why he got benched actually was throwing those shoulder tackles and missing them. Again, this is the difference between 4th and goal and a touchdown. The difference between 4th and goal and a touchdown. McKinney maybe doesn't know what a line of scrimmage is and playing his man. So he's sitting there. Goes to try and make the stop. Okereke. Again, play to the damn whistle, man. They end up getting 6 on this shit. And then you're fighting, and Cordell Flock gets ejected from the game. Didn't need to happen. Frustrating. Back on defense. Good sack by Kayvon. Again, this is where Wink running so much more zone coverage makes this harder for threw them off, right? Because usually this is a man look, right? Usually the Giants man coverage, slant flat, pull. McKinney chases the flat, throw the slant, easy conversion. But instead, Giants are in cover 3, right? And just this little bit of hesitation from McKinney, right? This little bit of hesitation from McKinney to be like, hey, I'm going to stop here and pick this off. Stops Howell from throwing this, right? And he's got a double clutch, and then he's getting sacked. And now Stunt's getting home, right? And this is where the zone coverages win out in the NFL, and I think they create more sacks and interceptions because it just creates not easy decisions, right? Even though the blitzing and the man coverage, I love it. I want the Giants to continue to do it. It also kind of gives you easy decisions, even when those easy decisions end up in incompletions. But I mean, great job by Okereke picking this up. You'll see from the other end. Good job by Dex. Occupy this left guard and center. Leno realizes what's coming, so he's got to pick up Simmons. Left guard stuck on Dex. Aziz working the corner. Kayvon sack. Good stuff. Next play. I think this might be the last play of me getting mad at DeVito. Throw the screen. You got to know that on this screen you are sending everybody. Throw it. Throw it. Even if you don't complete it, throw the shit in the dirt. Because you have everybody going. Right? We're trying to get... Instead, we're hitching. Because we're afraid that this defender might jump it, who's in his back pedal. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. Even if you miss an incomplete, we'll all laugh at you, but you don't take a sack. Because if you throw this, and he's catching this ball right here, I mean... Giants suck at screens, but we got 5 dudes blocking 3. And instead we're taking a sack. We're taking a sack in Commander's territory. Getting a negative play. This is Giants got burned a couple times on outside runs because of this run fit that they did. Right? The Giants usually are pretty hey, play your gap integrity, and the Giants do this, but you're playing from a light box, right? Even box, 1, 2, 7 blockers, 7 defenders, so your linebackers can't play as fast. But you have Kayvon, when you get into this outside zone, he's going to jump in this gap, which means Okereke has to take the outside C gap, right? So Kayvon jumps in this B gap, so now Okereke is responsible for the C. But this is where I say, hey, Okereke, trust these cats a little more, right? Because Dex has got this gap covered. And I get that, hey, if you play this too quickly, right? If Okereke gets out here and plays this, then Brian Robinson's able to cut this up. But that's a hard cut to make. And you have, your backside defender and Belton coming over the top. or coming from the backside. That's why, again, if you want to run these types of run fits, to me, I feel like you got to stack the box because you got to let guys play fast. Because if you don't let guys play fast, that's where you get in trouble on these outside runs. Right? Because now you sealed this easily, right? It just makes it a lot easier for the offense. So if you're going to do those, I want everybody playing fast on those. And the Giants do stack the box most of the time. Back on offense. So we talked about how, hey, they're getting downhill. They're jumping gaps inside. And we just saw like the Giants getting trouble. Let's run some pin and pull. Giants ran a lot of pin and pull last year. Haven't run a ton this year. We get a nice 36-yard gain out of it. Right? See? Watch these guys crash inside. Right? We want to stop the run. We want to crash inside. We want to make it easy for our linebacker. So we crash inside. Shepard's going to pin this. Bellinger pins this. Thomas pins this. And you get out and pull. Pugh. You pull Wandale. Wandale makes a good block on this little man. Right? And these guys, they're already working this way. You make those blocks easy. And now you make it really hard on your linebackers. Pugh does a great job. JMS, get around the corner, turn your head, find work. And so because you're making it hard on your linebackers, Davis is flowing. He's flowing over the top. Bam. Let's cut it up. Good cut by Saquon. Keep going. Keep those feet churning. 36-yard run. Good ball right there. That's good ball right there. That's good in-game adjustments from the Giants. And again, you're going to see them get in trouble for getting so heavy trying to stop the run. You get Daniel Bellinger wide open. Giants line up with Bellinger as the fullback. You run this motion with Wandale. You run this play action end around. Right? And you see, let's see all these dudes' eyes. Right? All these dudes' eyes. Bam. And you see, again, you run essentially post wheel with one of the wheel coming out of the backfield. You run the post. You occupy this corner. Who thinks, oh gosh, I got to stay on. I got to stay on this, right? My safety was playing the run heavy. I got to stay on this. The safety also does. So the corner doesn't pass this off to the safety like he should, right? And should come back and play this. And you find Daniel Bellinger wide ass open, right? And then watch Jamin Davis right here, right? Oh, I got a fullback. I gotta put my shoulder into him. I can't let him move me. We're trying to get downhill and stop the run, right? I'm gonna stop him in his tracks. I'm gonna get low and stop him in his tracks. I'm gonna hit him. Nope, you're not gonna hit anything because Bellinger is hoping you do that. Bam, and now we're out here alone. Saquon picks up Davis, deliver the throw, get some yak. Get a little mad that you didn't get your first touchdown of the year, Daniel Bellinger. It's coming, though. It is coming. Or it's not. What do we have next? Saquon touchdown on mesh traffic. I actually saw Dan Casey, who's a great follow for X's O stuff. He coaches. I guess the Bills, and he said one other team ran this week. But it's a low red zone touched, concept, right? And it's that mesh, right? We talk about that mesh all the time, right? We talked about it before where the running back usually runs the rail route, right? Runs out here. So the Giants motion Saquon. We get a man identifier, right? We have man coverage. Cool. That's what we want. We want man. We're running mesh. We want man coverage, right? We're in a mesh formation. And we're just trying to create traffic for the back who's going to go up through the A gap. Right, becomes part of the mesh, right? We just want to create traffic, right? Usually this sit round is here to occupy this middle defender. Nope. We are simply trying to create traffic, right? But the Commanders have a bracket on Saquon, right? Where if whichever way he goes, they don't know that they're running mesh. If he goes out here, all right, Cam curls on him, right? If he swings out here, Jamin Davis is on him, and then we got man coverage all across the board. But Davis, look at all this traffic, hence the name mesh traffic. He's got to go over the top on this. Honestly, a good effort by Cam Curler come and make a play on this, but Saquon's just still able to be a better athlete. And again, so you have the open gap is the A gap right here, so that's where Saquon's going to go through. You want to keep it as tight as possible off this. DeVito puts the ball out for him. Touchdown, New York Giants. Third passing touchdown of the day for Tommy Danny DeVito. What do we got? Oh, cover zero look, right? End up getting the Darnay Holmes interception. Good stuff. Again, the Giants ran a totally different game plan than they did Week 7 versus the Commanders. But they finally got in a cover zero look towards the end of the game, right? Where we have all these guys. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then possibly 7, right? But instead, we back out. We back out Kayvon and Ward. We blitz the nickel. And Sam Howell had success towards the end of that game. It was like when you get these looks, they're going to be vulnerable, scramble. They're going to be in man coverage, scramble, right? Get outside the pocket, move out of the pocket. And that's exactly what Sam Howell does when he sees, oh, I got a free rusher, right? I don't have time for this stuff to develop. I got to get outside the pocket, right? And the Giants are playing essentially like some type of 4 deep zone. Obviously, you're missing guys, so you can't run, have it all covered. And then you're having Ward and Kayvon come and cover the sticks out here on this 3rd and 10. But Howell's able to scramble, right? And then Dotson sees, we got a scramble drill, breaks back out here. They all turn this into man coverage. Dotson's open, right? And you see where Howell, but again, finish the play. Finish the play with your pass rush. Finish the play with an interception. Right? We realize, okay, he's probably going to scramble to the right with the blitz coming this way. So, we're going to try and occupy these 4 defensive linemen. We're going to work outside. And look, we got a free rusher still, right? We're sending 5 versus there's 6. Yeah, we've got all these dudes running after the quarterback. And big man Dex, finish. Force him to stop. Pinnock, finish. Make a hit on him. Dex, get your hand up. Darnay. Giants leader in interceptions this year. Go up and make a play. Good stuff. Good scheming from Wink Martindale. Good execution from everybody else. What do we have here? Just some wide zone, 31-yard run for Saquon Barkley. Just good blocking, right? You get this single linebacker. You got all these guys. You got 7 guys down, 1 off. Just good blocking, right? Phillips gets that inside shoulder and ride him. Bredesen, good steps. Keep your feet moving. Bam. Mayo has to play both these gaps. I don't know what Jonathan Allen's doing here. 31-yard for Saquon Barkley. Then we're going to finish the last 3 plays on defense. Giants will run cover 6, which is essentially a form of cover 3. Essentially because you end up with 3 guys deep. We get a Kayvon sack, right? And again, so we're half the field is cover 4. The other field is half of the field is cover 2, right? So you have flat defender here. So you end up with 3 guys deep, but it's that cover 6, right? So Howell's reading this. Shit, we got everything covered. And by the time you get to the backside, right, you don't have an easy read, right? You would think, okay, well, they got quarters on this side. That means this corner is going to bail with this, and I can just throw this out here, get a check down. Nope, you thought. It is covered. Everything's covered. And then we'll see Kayvon make the sack. Good ball. Again, keeping that arc tight, right? Not rushing up out here. Let's get tight. Let's use our hands. Let's get some bend. Not the best bend in the world, but get some bend. And finish. Great stuff from Kayvon in this game, man. It's more than just the sacks, too. Here's the touchdown that Deonte Banks gives up. A second, I guess. The only one in coverage. Right? The Giants, one of the few times the Giants got a man coverage, which is not something you really say about this New York Giants team, but it was true in this game. And you end up with a 3-man rush, too, right? Because you have Ward and Simmons drop out. So you basically are just like protecting the middle of the field while being in man coverage with this safety over here, right? So you're in man, like we have man coverage all across the board, but we want to protect the middle of the field. We don't want to give them any easy throws versus man coverage. And this is a good route by Dotson, right? But we got to explode out of this, right? We're playing inside leverage. Again, we're trying to protect the inside of the field. You got to explode out of this. Instead, we got our eyes on the QB. You got to explode through this. Instead, we got our eyes stuck on the quarterback. And we're behind. And it's a good throw. It's a good route. Ends up being a touchdown. And then the Isaiah Simmons touchdown. We get all those guys across the line. Howell's in panic mode. You get an interception. We got 2 guys deep. Again, all these guys across the line of scrimmage. We're just in basically a cover 2 man. Cover 5. 2 deep safeties, man coverage. The pressure gets there. Simmons is in man coverage here on the back the tight end that leaks out. Throws it up. Simmons is able to make the play. Let's watch Dex. Shock. Rip. Keep those feet churning. Beautiful. Howell panics. Simmons makes a good athletic play. We're going up the sideline. Bam, 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 bam. And you can't do that. We fall into the end zone. And we got football and beer. And a Giants victory. What the hell? I didn't want it to do that. I wanted the ending scene to be Simmons in the beer can and the football. A lot of comments on Twitter say Sam Howell threw that because he missed. Very funny. Very, very funny. Not the most flattering position to be in, Isaiah Simmons. But you just got to pick 6 and you won the game. So I guess you can have. So appreciate you guys. Again, you can read the top, right? I'm going to be in attendance. The tank's off. Just live with it at this point. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Let's go Big Blue.